Do we want to talk about how you helped me?
Yeah.
All right. So I came to you because you'd helped so many people. I had a couple of scary experiences, thanks to the channel. And I've always listened, litigating, you make enemies, but this is a little bit different because they're not necessarily enemies. I mean, I guess they are. I don't know. Um, I was like walking into our waiting room one day and a gentleman like leapt up from the sofa and like ran up to me and started trying to hug me and like talked to me about how I was going to take his case and I was going to take care of him. And it became like a scuffle because it's hard to tell if you're being hugged or tackled, right?
Mhm.
And then there's another one that I'm not even going to get the details, but probably does qualify as more of a stalker situation, a lot of imagery of self-harm that may or may not have been real, some real disturbing stuff. And I came to you and I was like, what, like, I guess for me, I'm not brave, but I am stupid. So like, I don't necessarily care about some of this stuff, but like, I'm not, yeah, I don't exist in a vacuum. There's other people in the world and in my life, and like, I had to worry about that. So I came to you hat in hand, like, help me, help me.
Well, first, it was great that you asked for help. And I think that's going back to the men, often don't ask for help. They want to deal
I
with
was
it
forced.
themselves.
I was forced to ask.
Yeah,
I was,
right. It had
I
gotten
was
pretty
required.
extreme. Yeah, it got pretty extreme at that point already before you reached out, it sounded like. And, obviously we don't want to get into too many details, but I think my first recommendation was like obviously document everything, like, just compile it all in a folder. I told you to use a VPN to open, you needed to download a VPN and put it on some other location because oftentimes individuals can put cookie trackers in emails that are invisible, can't see them. And when you click on it, they know your location by your IP address in it. And that was something that you didn't know because probably 99% of listeners don't know this fact, right? It's just not common knowledge. And so it's like as you compile this, make sure you're doing this. And I think the biggest, thing that I recommended that you were a little unsure of whether you wanted to take that step was to file a police report, right? To go to law enforcement.
That's the only one I did not. I probably shouldn't say that I didn't, but it's out there now. Yeah, I mean, I didn't. It. I don't know why. It feels wrong, almost.
That you didn't or to
No,
do
it
it.
feels wrong to go file a police report. It feels like I don't know. Like that's an unreasonable level of response for me specifically. Like that would be an overreaction given like that I'm somewhat capable of like protecting myself, like mediocre capable. Um, and it just seems like it would take resources away from like real victims, I guess. I also felt a little mean. Like I don't hate the person, you know? I mean, it's not like they've got good taste. No, shouldn't be cracking jokes, but like it's like you don't hate the person. You're like, this sucks that you one are doing this to me, but also two that this is happening to you. Like clearly you're not well. And that sucks for both of us right now a lot. But it's not like I hate you, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like,
Mm-hmm.
God damn, could you just go away and be
Mm-hmm.
well? Like, yeah,
It's interesting to hear you go through that reasoning real time, and I think it's good for the listeners as well because I think those are all of the feelings that I often hear when I tell someone to report. And reporting in my opinion is less about, chances are, especially in these types of cases, stalking, domestic violence, any form of gender-based violence, um, the chances of criminal charges being brought are slim to none, as the research shows over and over and over again. And that's not why I encourage people to report. Again, I don't think you wanted criminal charges to be brought against this person. And you don't hate them, right? But what I said to you was you have others that you need to protect. And this creates a paper trail. It's about the paper trail of documenting the harm in a official format, right? That says, hey, this is happening. And if it escalates even further beyond this, I've already reported it. And that's where I think it's like the power of reporting, that people should not be afraid to use these systems in these scenarios. I don't, the guy who's taken the police report, especially, like, you should not call 911 in these situations unless it's an
Yeah.
emergency. Go to the police station. It's probably a 4 to 5 hour sitting there. It's not a fun experience at all. But that person taking your reports is not the person investigating the domestic violence. Like, you're not actually taking resources away by filing the reports,
Good point.
right? And
Yeah.
so I think it's still important to do that, because in that situation there was definitely already escalating behavior. And I think also what I recommended to you was the gray rock method. Like, stop responding, do not engage, don't do anything, because you have to protect yourself. And unfortunately, what happens with the gray rock method is a person who is acting like this is unwell in whatever way that might be. And I don't use mental health as an excuse to cause harm, right? It might explain it, but it doesn't excuse it. Is they will often go find another person to cause harm to. And that's unfortunate, but that's the reality of these situations. And but maybe if you file reports, the next person that they cause harm to files the report, and so on, maybe something actually will happen. And so that's also why I encourage people to report.
The gray rock method has been amazing, and I did follow that advice to the T. The result was interesting because it's still ongoing. It seems like I'm in a 2 month rotation
Mm-hmm.
with, which is interesting. So clearly there is like another focal point or focal points, which is unfortunate for them, great for me, I guess. And then it's like a rotation at this point.
Well, it's the cycle of violence also, right? It can be the cycle of abuse, whatever is in relationships. It's like good moments, right? Then escalating bad behavior, then a blow up, right? And then they buy you flowers, are really, really nice. And then that starts over and over and over again. And it can happen in so many different types of scenarios, right? They're quiet, right?
Yeah.
And then they come back, and then they like probably realize like their wrongs, or because it's not working, they try to adjust and come back. And it's unfortunate, but that's ultimately like why protecting yourself is the most important thing. I think that's the maybe key takeaway of this whole conversation.
Yeah. All wise. Wisdom. I think that's going to help a lot of people. Are you going to start creating more content? YouTube needs you. This is where I try to guilt you onto the platform.
Well, I've gotten more comfortable with video, obviously. And so I think that's it. But obviously, my own experiences have hindered my use of my voice in a lot of ways. I feel, you know, look, I even like quite like right now in this moment, I'm evaluating what I should or should not say about my own life and my own, you know,
Yeah.
court dealings. But I've felt silence for a really long time, and in different ways, whether that was, contract issues with different companies, or, personal relationships. And so I think this year is about me reclaiming, my my voice, and it's been a really exciting process even just this far. And so yeah, I think I will be on YouTube soon.
I love that. I'm I'm watching you do those calculations in real time, and I'm like sitting here like maybe I should be smarter because I just said a bunch of stuff that maybe I shouldn't have said. Um, but listen, I think you reclaiming your voice and getting on YouTube, that's going to help a lot of people. Not that that's your job, not your job, but I think it would help a lot of people. It'd be amazing.
And I think it helped myself. the whole
There you
conversation
go.
of it.
Helping yourself
So
is your job.
yeah, if you're not here, like, you can't really do anything else. So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I want to do a follow-up. The, let's everybody, thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on.
thank you.
Um, if this was helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below. All the relevant links to our esteemed guest will be down below in the doobie-doo. The full link tree, such as it may be, I don't know actually how much she wants to share, but check it out. And then I'm hoping you come back on because we have more topics, and I think this was incredibly valuable for people, and it helps me, and I enjoy it.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and happy to come back on, obviously.
Amazing. I'm going to hold you to that. All right. Take care, everybody.